been 14 long years since the last time Final Destination appeared on the big screen, and death will not be cheated. It will not tolerate that no longer. We have the new release of Final Destination Bloodlines, directed by Zach Lipovsky and Adam B. Stein. And I have to say, I was going into this movie with some anticipation. That's why I did the Final Destination franchise review series. If you would like to see the series in its entirety, you can check the playlist right above my head or check the show notes down below. Really fun diving into each film in the franchise with each entry for the last couple weeks. Some really good highlights and memories jogged back by rewatching the franchise, and it made me really excited to go into Final Destination Bloodlines here. I went into it relatively blind. I only watched the one trailer in the theater that was kind of showed Eric's character at the tattoo parlor. Really had no didn't dive into any who the people were or what they played. I just kind of watched what was going on. I was like, yeah, I'm kind of sold on this. I didn't look at any other reviews of it. I didn't even know what Rotten Tomatoes score was before I walked into the theater. And going into it, kind of that way, kind of blind with no expectations, just hoping to be surprised. Gotta say, I had a blast with this movie. Is this one of the best in the franchise? I think it's still a little too early for me to say that right now, because I've seen the other ones countless number of times. One thing that this film definitely did do was pack that self-aware and campy fun that the franchise is known for. What the franchise isn't exactly known for is some really awesome storytelling. Some of the stories in the previous installments, while the characters are fun and engaging, you're really just wanting to see them get picked off one by one. This movie really put an effort in its story first approach, where it kind of told this generational story where this one girl named Stephanie, who is a college student who is being haunted by the recurring nightmare of this tragedy of her grandmother Iris, and not knowing exactly what everything entails from this dream, that she knows that it's somehow connected to her. Maybe she needs to try to reach out to this kind of relative who is no longer in the picture, based off maybe how her craziness that everybody thinks she is. So of course Stephanie kind of goes home and kind of gets together with the family and trying to reconnect with her grandmother, and kind of finds out death is lurking and is coming for Iris's family, and they're going to picking them off one by one. Before I jump into my thoughts, takes, and opinions on the rest of the film, make sure you guys leave your thoughts down below in the comments section. And if you're liking this review, think about dropping a subscribe and hit the like button, and with the bell notifications turned on, it will really help the channel grow to even new heights, death-defying heights maybe. See what I did there. Jumping back into it now. This movie may not appear at the top of my Final Destination ranking. I can guarantee you it won't be near the bottom either. I did have a lot of fun with this movie, and I think the storytelling elements is probably what made me enjoy it a little bit more than maybe the other films in the franchise, because they were trying to tell a cohesive story where it got you more engaged with these characters and trying to tell this generational trauma that this family was having, and having death slowly pick them off because death was coming for them. And seeing this opening premonition actually finally happen, while it's not the goriest or bloodiest, or maybe it is a little CGI heavy and sometimes it doesn't work all the way and sometimes it does, I did kind of like the throwback to this time period, and having a premonition appear there. That was kind of really fun to see, and seeing this kind of unique place of this Skyview restaurant and being up so high and everybody kind of dying inside that restaurant. It's kind of cool how it was able to come back full circle with this recurring nightmare situation where, yeah, we do get to see, these people reconnect with their loved ones that have been kind of estranged for so long because of the trauma that people were having based off this event, and kind of the generational talents that just kind of go down each generation and it kind of affects people differently. I kind of appreciated that aspect. We got a little bit more depth to the characters that way. And some of the characters may not work 100% for me, but I did kind of appreciate you see different stereotypes from all different people here. One of my favorite ones being Richard Harmon's character, Eric. He kind of reminded me of a young McKinley in Final Destination 3. I really enjoyed McKinley in that movie, and he was kind of similar. This is maybe what McKinley would have looked like or been. He probably would have worked at a tattoo parlor if he made it through high school in Final Destination 3. Now, the lead of Stephanie is played by Caitlin Santawana. She does a really good job in this movie. I think she was able to relay some really good emotions here. While my favorite leads are Devon Saya and Mary Elizabeth Winstead, respectfully, I think Caitlin does a really good job with this performance. You're trying to lead the story, and we're kind of following her beat here as well. Again, the family dynamic here is, it may hit or miss some, and people may not like the characters all the time, but I did like how they were getting picked off by Death's design, and the kind of chaotic nature of it, who's going to be picked off, and they're trying to play off tropes from a previous installment of the movie, and there was some name drops from other films. Now, as the story goes along, they do bring back the iconic Tony Todd here to play Mr. Bloodworth here, and I think that if you're a big Tony Todd fan, this was a good homage and a good love letter and a good send-off to not just the character of Bloodworth in the Final Destination franchise, but also the actor himself. I feel like when they were shooting this movie, they kind of knew that this was kind of going to be the last hurrah for this character, and they were able to write his departure from the franchise in such a beautiful and respectful way. So if you're a big Tony Todd fan, maybe bring the tissues there, because that was a really great scene and could be one of my Pinot nominations for maybe minor character of the year, probably maybe best scene too. I think there was some really good stuff there that would make me kind of at least think about it and be in the conversation for some of those Pinot nominated categories later on in our podcast. And I do like how they were kind of maybe name dropping a few people there without going to spoilers there. What I liked a little bit more kind of homages and tributes to the previous installments. Yeah, I think that would have been really cool to see some of that, but I didn't think necessarily it had to happen in Final Destination Bloodlines. The movie does have some kind of wonky CGI, not nearly as bad as like a Final Destination 4 or even maybe Final Destination 5, mind you. But I think that some of it, at the beginning of the movie and maybe some near the end there, it kind of is a little wonky to look at. And I also think that this third act of this film, it's like a blink and you missed it type of thing. I think it was like 10 minutes and the movie was basically over in the final act there. I wish that was going to be kind of drug out a little bit. And I do like how one of the characters in this film is kind of like Laurie Strode in the Halloween remakes or the latest David Gordon Green Halloween movies. It's kind of similar to that as well. I think that's kind of a fun little element to this franchise too. Overall, I think this was a really fun, entertaining movie that I can totally understand why the ratings are so amazing for it. Do I think it's going to stay at 96% on Rotten Tomatoes? At the time of the recording, that's what it was, but I don't. Do I think so? I don't think it will stay that high, but it is definitely the highest in the franchise, and it's got to be a testament to maybe a little bit of nostalgic love for the franchise because we want to see it on the big screen again, but also that this is a really good movie, and I do really appreciate it. I'm really at a 3 stars for this film out of 4. And I could see myself going back and really liking it. My wife was a little mixed on the story because she kind of wanted to understand the story elements. And I think she had a little problem with the title. But as we talked about, I think this is going to be something that we could rewatch and really enjoy. There, I think some of the kills in the film, not the craziest, bloodiest affairs of all of the kills. There is one that I really did like, and it was this one involving an MRI machine. I won't dive into what happens there, but that's probably one of my favorites in the franchise, at least up in the conversation as the best. But I think there's some also really effective barbecue sequences. There's some really cool scenes at the tattoo parlor that do happen there. There are some really fun elements in this movie, and while there are some negatives, and it doesn't necessarily work in its entirety to everything for me, it was a super entertaining movie that had a smile on my face while watching the entire time. So there's got to give Final Destination Bloodlines that. Perfect? No. Entertaining as hell? Hell yeah, it was. So again, my name is Adam of Almost Sideways. That is my personal thoughts on Final Destination Bloodlines. But it doesn't matter what I think all the time. What do you think? Let me know in the comments section down below what you guys thought of Final Destination Bloodlines. Let's talk about it down there. And come back soon, because I will be dropping my entirety ranking of all 6 films from worst to best of the Final Destination franchise. Dropping very soon. Okay, until next time. That's coming for us all. See you later.